Very good morning to all dear students. Today we will start a new topic, vector field visualization. In last 3-4 lectures we were discussing about the visualization of scalar data. Okay, we have learned different methods of visualization, color mapping, raycasting and all. Now we will learn how to visualize a vector data. Okay, so first we will see what is a vector data. A vector data is a three-dimensional representation of direction and magnitude. As you all know that when a direction is added to the magnitude, then it becomes the vector data. Okay, when a normal data value is represented with some direction, then it is called a vector data. Vector data often results from the study of fluid flow or when examining the derivatives, rate of change or some quantity like this. Okay, these are the examples of vector data which we would like to visualize. Okay, and here are some uh, methods for visualizing. The first one is hedgehogs and oriented glyphs. Next is wrapping, displacement plots, time animation and streamlines. These are some common methods for visualizing different vector data. This is the example how to visualize a vector data. As you can see in the image, we are trying to visualize a car which is running. Then how can we differentiate a car which is not running and a car which is moving on the road? So you can see the changes in the color. Some different color patterns we have used to show that the car is moving. Okay, the second one is describing the flow of the blood. Like this, these are the examples for which we use the visualization of moving objects. Examples are meteorological analysis, medical blood flow measurements, computational simulation of flow over aircraft, ships, submarines, etc., and visualization of derivatives. Okay. Now, why the visualization of these things is difficult? It is difficult because 2 or 3 components per data point. We have to display 2 or 3 components per data point. Per data point means each and every voxel which we were considering for converting a image for the display device. So for each and every voxel we have to consider 2 or 3 components which will describe the movement of that particular data value, directional movement of that particular data value. Okay, and also temporal aspects of vector flow and vector density. These are the values which we will use to represent a vector data. Insight in vector fields. How we can represent, we visualize the vector fields. There are two properties of vector fields. We can visualize a vector field by local view of flow or global view of flow. What does it mean? Local view means in local view for a given location, what is the current wind strength and direction? For example, we are taking an example of wind forecast. So if we want to forecast the flow of wind, then if we are taking a particular location, then for that location only we will show the current wind strength. And in global method, for any given location, where has the wind flow come from and where it will go, all the neighboring flow pattern will be observed and displayed. Okay, for local view, we will consider and display only for the object under consideration will be displayed, and in global view all the nearby objects, nearby calculations will be done, and then the visualization will be done. Okay, so these are two methods, global view and local view, for visualization. Again, in second category of visualization, the second categorization of visualization is we can visualize any object's flow with respect to fixed point. Okay, we can consider a fixed point on any image like this, and about that fixed point we can visualize all the other objects. For example, plot flow glyphs to show local direction and magnitude and local view of vector fields. We will discuss these glyphs. What is this glyphs in the next slide. And the second method to visualize is the flow as a trajectory of particles transported by the flow. Means we will consider some particles which are moving. We will divide the whole scene into small particles, and then we will show the movement of those particles like a trajectory, in which direction those particles are moving. Okay, so the two methods are, in first method we want to visualize the flow with respect to a single fixed point, but in second we are visualizing the flow with respect to trajectory of particles, not a single point. Okay, for example, plot particle traces, streamlines, etc. The global view of vector field can be represented like this. It requires integrating the flow equation. Okay, state of flow, it can be steady or unsteady. The flow of any data value can be steady or unsteady flow. As we all know, the steady flow means it remains constant over the time, and state of equilibrium or snapshot we can take. Use massless particle traces known as streamlines. Or unsteady flows, it varies with respect to time. Okay, these are the two types of flow. In the first one, the flow of data values always remains constant, it does not change with respect to time. And in unsteady flow, the flow of the data values which we are observing changes with respect to time. Okay, implications to tracing massless particles, particle traces known as streak lines. These are the two terms which are used for visualization of steady and unsteady flow. For local visualization, how we visualize the vectors in the local visualization method, set of basic methods for showing local view, oriented lines, hedgehogs and glyphs. These are the methods for local visualization. We can visualize the vector fields locally by oriented lines, color mapping, wrapping and animation. We will see in the next slides these methods, examples of these methods. The first method is lines, local vector visualization by using lines. Okay, which was the first method in the previous slide, like here, oriented lines. This will start in the next slide. What do? We draw a line at data point indicating vector direction. We draw the lines indicating the vector direction. Scale according to the magnitude, indicate direction as vector orientation. What is the problem in this method? Non-uniform spacing, showing lower magnitude areas, large dynamic range field. For example, speed, it shows very lower magnitude areas, and often referred as Hedgehogs. This method of visualization is called Hedgehogs. Okay, so example, by this example we will learn it. See, in this map we want to show the speed of the wind. So we have drawn lines here, the lines to show the wind, and this is the value representing this lines in the diagram. What is the diagram? Lines are drawn with constant length. Barbs indicate wind speed, also color mapping scalar field of wind speed. Okay, the two methods are used here. For scalar data, we have used this color mapping technique. You can see the bottom line here. And for direction of wind, we have used this lines. Okay. Second method, as we all know, in the color mapping of scalar data, we used the color mapping method for scalar data. So again, it also included in vector visualization also. As in scalar visualization, we use different colors to indicate different levels of the image. Same concept is applied in this vector visualization. We use different color patterns to indicate different area, different coordinates, and different depth values, and thus we get the color mapped value of any image. The next method is glyphs method. What is glyphs method? In the glyphs method, 2D or 3D objects are inserted at data points oriented with vector flow. The object itself is oriented with the data flow. Okay, what is the problem? Problem is scaling. We cannot scale it properly. Scaling the glyphs results in non-linear change in appearance. Okay, if we want to display any vector data with the help of this technique, glyphs technique, then we show the movement of that data by turning or rotating or orienting that object itself in the direction of the flow. Okay, whatever the value, whatever the data object is, either it can be 2D or it can be 3D. Okay, but in this case, what is the problem? It changes the shape of the object, and scaling is also not possible. It changes the appearance of the object. For example, the example here we are taking the blood flow. Color map shows the magnitude in addition to glyph scale. Okay, this is the diagram of vector visualization of blood flow with the help of this technique, glyphs. Okay, but here we have turned or converted the nerves in the direction of the flow. Okay, so this is the another method, glyphs method. The next method is wrapping. In the wrapping method of local vector visualization, we deform the geometry according to the vector field, like this. Vector fields often associated with motion or displacement. Vibration of a beam. How to vibrate a beam? We will take the actual position like this, and then we will shift it in the moving direction. As you can see, this was the actual place in the black line, and now the beam is shifted towards the right, and if we will shift it towards the left, so by the use of lines we can show the displacement of the actual object from the current position. This is the another method, example of wrapping. We can insert slice planes into the data volume, display surface according to flow momentum, take care with scaling to avoid excessive geometric distortion. Surfaces may intersect or even turn inside out. We are showing the movement of this surface from a far location to the nearby location of the viewer, so as we can easily understand that when the object will be far from the viewer side, then it will be small. As it comes nearer to the viewer, it will become larger. So we are showing these different patterns one by one, and we can show the wrapping of this vector visualization. Why it is called a wrapping? Because we are wrapping this whole movement of the object in a single wireframe. Okay, why the method is called wrapping? Because as you can see, this wireframe along this set of these objects, we want to show the object's movement, and all the object's movements are wrapped in a single image. That's why it is called the wrap. The next method is animation. Animation, everyone is aware of it. It is used to enhance the lines of and or glyphs, improved clarity of magnitude and direction. With the help of animation, we can easily describe or visualize the vector data, movement of scalar data. Improved clarity of magnitude and direction draws the lines or glyphs and animate over time. It removes ambiguity in line or glyph direction. Also move glyphs along the streamline to visualize the transport. Okay, all the problems which were there in the previous methods will be removed by this method, animation, because animation can easily visualize the data with the movement in a given direction. Okay, vector field visualization, two categories we were studying, local and global. What is the aim? Vector fields specify flows through the field. We want to visualize the flow in the field. In the local view, we are displaying it with respect to a fixed point. These examples we have learned. And in the global view, we visualize the data by the help of trajectory of particles transported by vector fields. Okay, we assume some particles which are moving are transported by the vector field. Okay, so thank you very much for today's topic. Go through these, just go through with these slides and learn the topic vector visualization techniques. Okay, thank you very much.